Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here. I'm today with a special little video for you guys. As it was, if you've been paying attention, you'll know that there was a poll out towards the end of last year, kind of asking about various topics regarding Toonami and Adult Swim, mostly focused on Adult Swim over the year 2020, like different questions like what's your favorite show, so on and so forth. And I wanted to cover this from the perspective of Toonami, so I'm not going to be covering every single thing. I'm just going to mostly be covering stuff that was more of a focus to Toonami in a way. And one thing, I already read this poll, so I already know what happens. One thing, by the way, I thought was pretty interesting that I liked is that this year they separated out the vote by where people got the vote from, like from Discord, from the Adult Swim Reddit, from the Toonami Reddit, and from other means. So key in on this light green color here, because this light green color is of the people who voted from the Toonami Reddit, so they're more likely to be Toonami fans, disproportionately relative to the other groups. And note this because this actually becomes important a few times during this as a bit of a perspective. Now, the first thing I want to cover is I want to cover Ballmaster Season 2. It debuted on Adult Swim proper, but it did get a run on Toonami. And as you can see here, the plurality of the vote went to it being 4 stars from a scale of 0 to 5, so generally well liked. Quite a few people said 5 stars too. It almost won out. And like I said, key on this light green color here, because this is the people who are the Toonami fans. This is the Toonami vote coming out here. And pretty even between 3 to 5 stars. So generally, people kind of like I said, that's the reason why I did not include it in worst moments of 2020, is that quite a few people did like having it on Toonami at the end of the day, and it shows here. Now let's see the next Toonami related thing. I believe it would be what's it called, Primal, and it's coming up. I hate when people use Imager for this crap. Tigtone, that's not Primal, season 1.5. As you know, they did the first half of the first season last year, and then they had the second half this year. And no, this is not a Toonami original show. It did get a marathon at Toonami way back a few months ago. I forgot what it was a marathon for a certain date. It's not Christmas. It was somewhere before that. We did have a marathon, so it did air on Toonami. And again, this actually was the most popular show. This had the most first place votes, even more first place, 5-star votes. I mean, you had even more 5-star votes than Eric Andre's show did. And I've done videos talking about how Eric Andre is probably the second biggest brand on the block behind Rick and Morty. Oh, and I also got more 5-star votes than Rick and Morty too, by the way. And again, key on this light green here. Each box represents 2 votes, by the way. The light green, and overwhelmingly, I'll say actually the majority of the vote here for the Toonami audience was to give Primal 5 stars out of 5. So generally well received here, and it was the most well received new show or new season of Adult Swim in general this past year. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Gemusetto Death Beats. Its plurality of the votes gave it a 5-star rating. However, again, key in on this green because the majority of Toonami fans did not give it 5 stars. And again, I already looked into and I read up and I calculated how many votes for each, and the plurality of the Toonami vote gave it a 0-star rating. As if you've been paying attention to the Toonami fan base, that should not come as a surprise. A lot of people did not like having this show on the block. And again, even though for the total Adult Swim fan base, it was averaged vote as a 5 out of 5, Toonami fans on average gave it around a 0 out of 5. So the next one was for, I think it was Best New Season. Was it Best New Season? Yeah, Best New Season, again, Primal won by a reasonable margin. I believe Joe Pera's Talk To actually got the second. So Eric Andre got the second most votes, and then Joe Pera, it started in 2019, season 2 started in 2019, and ended in 2020, so a lot of people kind of forgot about it. But yeah, I'll say a good, reasonable plurality of the vote here did go to Primal, season 1.5 of the Toonami vote, as I'm going by here. There's another one here. You could talk about, Samurai and Shogun, which we wasted money, Rick and Morty and Genocide versus Genocide. That's the one Toonami wasted money on. That was Toonami's budget that went towards it. And it wasn't number one. Smiling Friends by a wide margin was the most popular pilot movie. Then Jack Stober's Opal, which aired on Halloween night, too. However, again, key on this light green. This is the Toonami vote, and I think it was Rick and Morty and Genocider got quite a bit of it. I think it had. I think it actually got the most Toonami vote, which is interesting considering how they also included the Batman, the Justice League movies we got to. You could see it disproportionately for something like Dark Knight Returns Part 1. 7 of the 11 votes were from the Toonami thing. And for Batman, 10 of the 16 votes came from the Toonami thing. So you see the influence there. But again, those paled in comparison to, like I said, something like Jack Stober's Opal or Smiling Friends, which were general Adult Swim fare. Again. And one thing I'll point out here is best streaming show. As you might know, one of the bigger, more well-known things about most well-known things about Toonami, about Adult Swim in general this year was the mass layoffs of the entire streaming department. Basically, if your job in Toonami was to deal with streaming, you lost your job during this year. It was a very ugly year, of course, for everyone, and definitely for Warner Media. Again, when you don't have March Madness to help buoy up your money for everything else you have, it's going to be a tough stretch. And here, for the best streaming show, first time I think ever I can remember it is not Toonami Pre-Flight. It did not win. It got far fewer votes than it got last year, and by a good margin, the winner was Fish Center Live. Fish Center has been around for a good few years. Was around for a good few years. It probably was the most well-known streaming show that Adult Swim had, perhaps even more well-known than Toonami Pre-Flight. And you can see here, look at the light green. Definitely going for Toonami Pre-Flight here. Should come as no surprise. And I think there was another one that Toonami had good thing on. Oh yeah, they had the takeover bracket. It got a good number of people, 49. Back during the fall, and which decided that the most popular Toonami show of all time was Cowboy Bebop, which is why we got that marathon for Christmas there. But again, Toonami Pre-Flight and the Toonami bracket both losing out to Fish Center Live. However, I did the math. You added up Toonami Pre-Flight and the bracket and assumed that everyone whose first pick was the Toonami bracket, second pick was Toonami Pre-Flight, it actually would have just edged it out Fish Center Live by a few votes. Such an interesting thing to do here. Honestly, they have so many of these streaming shows. I've never even heard of most of these, to be honest. And here's an interesting one: best syndicated cartoon. So, and note here, you could talk about, yeah, not that good for Toonami shows. And first thing you can see this caption here is like aired outside of Toonami. Well, yeah, some shows that aired on Toonami also aired outside Toonami for quite a while. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Kai. They might still do this. Aired at 8 p.m. on Saturdays. My Hero Academia also briefly aired at like 8 p.m. on Saturdays, so they counted as this category. They all lost out pretty solidly to Bob's Burgers, which is kind of like the hipster show. It's like the hipster Fox show. I believe I voted for this, by the way, too. And I'm pretty sure I voted for American Dad in this one because of these 6, it's my favorite show out of them. And again, Bob's Burgers got first, American Dad got second, but My Hero Academia got quite a few votes. It was a pretty solid third. And again, key in on that light green, as that was probably, again, another majority of the vote when specifically in My Hero Academia. Interesting to note that it solidly beat out both Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Kai. And even if you put those two shows' numbers together, it would still fall short of My Hero Academia. I thought that was pretty interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see how things do, since I believe starting fall 2021, Adult Swim loses the rights to the Fox shows. So no more American Dad, no more Bob's Burgers, and no more Family Guy. So that's going to be a difficult situation for Adult Swim there, to say the least. And now here we come to the main event, the best Toonami show on the air now. Now, first off, as a note, this poll was taken in late December, so this is based off the schedule then. So that's something to take note of here. The winner was Gemusetto Death Beats. Before you scream at me, before you get angry at me, I kept telling you, note there's big disparities between the general vote and the Toonami fanbase vote. Because the Toonami fanbase did not vote for Gemusetto Death Beats. It got a grand total of 5 Toonami votes. By comparison, Assassination Classroom got Like they got 13. So the plurality of the vote went to Assassination Classroom. And also you had Fire Force and Sword Art Online get pretty close second place. I believe they tied like one vote behind Assassination Classroom. Again, those three shows pretty bunched up. And again, if you pay close attention, that blue color is from the general Adult Swim fan base. Again, and a lot of big complaint about it being on Toonami was how it was just very clearly an Adult Swim show in a Toonami skin. And that's how I got all these votes here. In Gemusetto Death Beats winning by 21 votes over Assassination Classroom. The Toonami vote going as a very close one between Assassination Classroom just beating out Fire Force and Sword Art Online. And that's the interesting thing here. Demon Slayer doing pretty well too. They were a close fourth place with the Toonami vote. I believe they were a close third place overall in this. So that's something to take note of. But Naruto Shippuden finishing in last here. The best Toonami show off the air, there was a lot of these. And I'll slowly pan down to the winner being Cowboy Bebop. Again, this show only aired as part of a marathon, as part of a Christmas marathon on Toonami this year. So it counts with a giant asterisk on it. And again, if you look at the disparity between the general vote and the Toonami vote, you'll realize not that many people here voted for Toonami. Look for this little green bit here. And I actually looked at it. I again did the math for this already. And the winner with the most Toonami votes in this was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. Again, a lot of parity with the Toonami fan base. It's pretty well spread out, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure didn't really win by much. And surprisingly, the second most popular show, according to Toonami's vote, was actually The Promised Neverland. And then you had like My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan, both one vote away. You had Dr. Stone, One Punch Man, Food Wars, Paranoia Agent, and Mob Psycho 100, all pretty close as well. So again, not really a full-on consensus within the Toonami fan base. And really, there were some close votes here. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure total votes was only 14 behind Cowboy Bebop. So there really wasn't an exact winner here. A show to point out and say that everyone loved this here, loved it more than anyone else here. So I thought that was interesting. A lot of parity in this vote. Primal was up there too. Samurai Jack had quite a few votes. And also, yeah, that's interesting here. And here's another part. The What Should Air on Toonami, the annual spectacle where everyone says something like hentai. Now, note here, they also color coded this too. And the green words, by the way, are the Toonami vote. And I'll also point out which ones for me, like always. And you can see here, of course, hentai. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is pretty popular. You have the annual person who says ghost stories. Also, they actually really should air ghost stories on Toonami. In my opinion, that would actually be great. You have the a-hole say Gemusetto season 3. You have the one person saying Danganronpa 3 for some weird reason, even though we haven't had one air. And Danganronpa 3, if you're not a fan of it, it's an anime that prides itself on going intentionally out of order. The fan base will tell you which order to air watch the episodes. It's confusing unless you've already played all the games, even the ones that this is supposed to be a synopsis of. It's a disaster. And there's gonna be one Danganronpa fan in the comments that will argue me on this one, but hey, truth's the truth. You have Konosuba, of course. Let's see what else. Okay, here's some green. Here's from the Toonami fan base. ReZero. This was common. A lot of people like the idea of ReZero. And people have been saying it for a few years now. That should be on the block. And of course, you have the people saying Mob Psycho Season 2. That's never going to happen. Let's see. A Food Wars Season 3. That should happen, but it probably won't. Let's see what else. Meta. Who? What the hell? Why Meta Runner? I actually did a couple of reviews of a couple episodes of Meta Runner when it first came out, and I liked it, but man, it got bad fast. That's just my personal opinion. If you like it, more power to Yu Yu Hakusho. And the one a-hole keeps saying more Gemusetto. Thank you very much. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Jujutsu Kaisen, a few people said this too. In time, the real stuff, that's my answer, by the way. More Konosuba, more Jujutsu Kaisen, more ReZero. You're seeing a theme here of like 3 or 4 different shows we were talking about. Konosuba, again, probably never going to get that. And Jujutsu Kaisen. A lot of people want Jujutsu Kaisen, apparently, you know. Let's see what else. Okay, all the people saying Gemusetto Season 3, please shut the hell up. What else? What else? ReZero, Konosuba. Of course, all the different new seasons that should be expected. Interspecies reviewers. Jason DeMarco's too much of a pussy to ever put that in the air. Juju Kaisen. Let's see. Juju Kaisen once again. ReZero once again. Let's see what else. Of course, more new seasons. Juju Kaisen once again. I think we have a winner of Juju Kaisen being the most popular show here. Let's see what else. More ReZero. ReZero is a close second. Let's see. More Mob Psycho Season 2. That's not coming. Juju Kaisen. Vinland Saga. I'm kind of surprised we hadn't gotten Vinland Saga yet. A lot of people really loved it. I read the first 15 or so chapters of the manga. I actually liked it too. Not enough to keep like reading, but I thought I'm really interested. I haven't watched the anime yet. Yashahime. I keep forgetting that thing. That might end up on Toonami. I'm not that optimistic because of the situation we're in, but that's plausible. More ReZero here, of course. My Mom, classic. Let's see, a certain magical index that could work. That's not going to happen. Zero plus Vampire, again, everyone's too much of a pussy to put that on the air. Mob Psycho Season 2, not going to happen. People saying stuff. Again, ReZero, again, another Juju Kaisen there as well. What else? Beavis and Butthead. This is a troll. That would be fun to put up there. Stone Ocean. That's going to be the Chinese democracy of anime, isn't it? Yeah, Promise Neverland Season 2, I hope, but I'm not optimistic. Monster Musume, again, everyone's too much on there. Penny and Stocking Garter Belt. I think they talked about it once and then they decided against airing it. Juju Kaisen once again. Screw HBO Max, no one cares. No one watched the Adult Swim Festival. I thought that was funny. Biggest mistake in the last year. Again, I already mentioned this, them canceling all the streams and laying off a boatload of people, one quite solidly. I keep forgetting they canceled the Venture Brothers this past year. And of course, you have to have the running gag of, oh, you cancel Metalocalypse, which was a BS thing they did, by the way. Biggest mistake of the past year. And this is all over the place. And it's like, of course, stuff like layoffs. Decker was a shitty show from the beginning. It never should have existed. HGAT chilling, that was a common theme. And also another thing I like keying in on again is the lime green. That's from the Toonami fans. The all of the above, Toonami talking about Black Lives Matter. That was a very common frame too. A lot of people did not like that. I think the plurality of the responses were something to do with the Black Lives Matter. And of course, all the above because this year sucked. What else? I keep forgetting they canceled Mike Tyson. They canceled the good shows. Konami can't acquire anything. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But yeah, it sucked. Well, let's see what else. Mike Lazo's Dick Pic classic, not airing more Boruto. Again, that's gonna be the Chinese democracy of the block. We're not getting Boruto back. It should, but never getting it. Let's see. HBO Max shilling, that was a common one. And another one talking about Black Lives Matter. So basically the theme here is biggest mistakes that were not or right and answers for the Black Lives Matter moment from Toonami and the general theme of shilling for HBO Max. What should they air next? This is general Adult Swim stuff. There's a handful of people who say like anime, hentai. I want to find mine again. I did hentai again. And I was threatening about it too. Trying to find my answer here. Oh yeah, here's mine. Actual hentai. I'm dead serious. I thought that was funny when I wrote it. I laughed out loud when I wrote it. I thought it was funny. And more anime. General stuff Toonami related. Syndicated anime. American Dad. Liked American Dad. But we're not getting it. We're going to lose it this year, though. Let's see. I think this was it, honestly. Oh, yeah, I forgot this one. What are we hyped up the most for in 2021? Number one, by a reasonable margin, was Uzumaki. Again, Uzumaki should have come out last year, and I did not check before this, but I think it actually won for what we're host hyped about in 2020 in the 2019 poll. I'm gonna look at this afterwards and probably comment somewhere saying whether or not it won or not. But again, key on that light green. It got a slight majority. It barely won a plurality actually of the Toonami vote. Blade Runner Black Lotus was a pretty reasonable second with the Toonami vote. And Phoenix Fire Princess got a number of Toonami votes too. Again, Uzumaki won solidly. I forgot they got Tuca and Birdie's license, even though I don't know anyone who actually liked that. Then you have Bird Girl. If you don't know what Bird Girl is, it's a spinoff based on the female lawyer character from Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. I'm not that excited for it. I love the original Harvey Birdman back when that aired. And then you have the write-ins. You have people saying Uzumaki, even though it's a choice in the original one. New season of Doctor Stone. I think it's an okay chance we get that. I'm not so sure. Which network deserves 8 p.m. more? Unsurprisingly, it's Adult Swim, and then you have the circle jerk here, which mods are coolest. So that's it. So what do you guys think about this reveal of the Toonami fan base and the general Adult Swim fan base's beliefs of the best things to happen in 2020 on the network? So what do you guys think? I love reading your comments. I love reading opinions. If you like this, if you like more content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.